Hello again and welcome to Ndudu by Fafa. Hello, gorgeous folks. Today I'm taking it to Niger, straight to Niger. I'm making their classic Ayamase sauce, of course, with my own twist. I love the sauce, the flavors alone. Naturally, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements in the transcript of this recipe on my blog, fafagilbert.com. So now let's start. For this recipe, I'm using Ramiro peppers as well as my long red chilies. Yes. I'm also going to be adding some habanero chili and some spring onions to the mix, as well as 3 cloves of garlic. As I mentioned earlier, I'd leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, so do check it out. Now, traditionally, palm oil that is bleached is used for this recipe, but I'm omitting that and I'm using peanut oil instead. Here I'm adding my chopped or sliced onions, may I say, and I'm frying this beauty for about 4 to 5 minutes just to allow the infusion to take place. Now, the main ingredient here is my smoked dried herrings. Yes. Now, if you don't have that, you can use your dry shrimp powder. That works equally well. Now, that was the last batch. And of course, what I need to do is fry this with the onions and oil. The reason is this is almost like a stock. It's like the base of the stew. And I need that flavor to intensify anyway. I mean, by the way, the herrings, when it's smoked and dried, the flavor is just intense. I've added a little bit of my spring onions that I had left in the fridge anyway, because there's never waste in my kitchen. And of course, I'm going to be blending this, but not to a smooth paste. No, I need it in a very coarse texture. Yes, that is imperative because this stew is not a smooth stew, it's a textured one, yes. And that's how I like it as well, with the chunky bits of fish coming through. Niger, thank you for this recipe. So the consistency that I'm talking about is something like this. So the stew has been cooking for about 15 minutes on a medium heat so far. And here I'm adding some aniseed. This is optional. And of course, my salt to taste. And I'm going to mix everything together until it's well combined. The next thing that I'll be adding to my stew will be my bay leaves. Now, these are optional. You don't need to add that to the sauce, but I love the flavor that it lends to it. So I'm going to be cooking this for another 45 minutes. But not until, of course, I've added my pre-cooked lamb pieces. So I slow roasted some lamb, and the leftover, I've just diced it into those beautiful cubes, as you can see, and I've just added it to this mixture. So yes, this is just going to be incredible. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to slow cook this until it turns into this dark marmalade consistency that, you know, smells intense and aromatic and just so beautiful. Exactly. So yes, I mean, you can actually make this on a high heat, but I think you lose the flavor because you can end up burning it so quickly that it's just great to just do it on that medium heat. Here I'm just adding some chopped jalapeños. There is another version of ayamase where green bell peppers and green chilies are used. I think I did that recipe a couple of years ago, but I used mushrooms, yes, because I did a vegetarian ayamase. I'll leave a link in the description box below, so yes, you can watch it and familiarize yourself with it. But yeah, this is looking good. So in the absence of your jalapenos, you don't need to use jalapenos. That's exactly what I had at home. And we're in a tier 4 lockdown or tier 5 lockdown, one of those ones here in London. So yeah, you can't travel that far. No, know. So yeah, that's why I've used the jalapenos. But of course, just use your green chilies in that respect, if that's what you have available. So yeah, it's just getting darker and darker. Now, this is similar in a way to the Guinean chateau. And please don't ask me which do I prefer. I can tell that someone is like waiting to type. Yeah, let me ask you, which one do you prefer? Now you need to try it and you tell me which one do you prefer. But I'd say they are similar, but definitely different in their method of creation and also in terms of the ingredients, the key ingredients that I used actually, creates distinctive flavors. And even with chateau, everyone's chateau is different. Everyone's signature to chateau is different. I wouldn't say there's an authentic recipe in the sense that everyone's interpretation of chateau is actually in their own language. Absolutely. Others could do it with coconut oil, others with normal oil. It's just different. Exactly. So anyway, this is getting darker and darker and darker. And when it gets darker, it gets richer in flavor. At this point, I've got about 5 to 6 minutes of cooking time. So I then add my boiled 6 eggs to the stew. Exactly. And I'm just going to be mixing all of this together until every egg is covered in this delicious, marmalade, beautiful, tasty ayamase a la Ndudu sauce. Or stew. Now that my stew is ready, I've also prepared some brown rice. Exactly. So I'm now going to be frying my plantain or dodo, may I say, to accompany the dish. After 3 minutes of frying on each side, my plantain is ready. So now I can go and sit in my corner and eat till my heart's content. Exactly. And the same sauce, I used it as I served it alongside wache the next day. Oh my gosh, the flavors. It be so. This one they've been Ndudu by Fafa, and I hope I have inspired you to try the recipe. Yes, do try it and leave your feedback by leaving comments below as well. Share with your family and friends. Yes, and any contribution or any extra knowledge you'd like me to know, yeah, let me know. And also, let me know what would you like me to cook for you guys exactly. In as much as I would like to cook you a lot of things. You tell me what you'd like me to cook for you. So leave your comments below as well. I appreciate that a lot. And I hope everyone's 2021 is, good. Yeah, in the circumstances, we are doing well. I'm so proud of everybody. Yes. Now, as I always mention, you'd find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa. Noel, thank you very much for my theme songs. I appreciate you a lot. And until my next video, yes, me as I always say, I love you for you. Take care of you. I'll see you soon. Yes.